Welcome to The Fault Vault. We have two brothers breaking down their business mistakes.
Hello, good morning. Welcome back to Fault Vault. My name is Jay from Bradfield Express Cabinets, and I sell cabinets. And I'm here with my brother. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I would. My name is Jared with Worldwide English Services. We customize and deliver online English training courses for businesses and government agencies. I didn't have a single drop. I had water in small eco-friendly bottles. Many small eco-friendly bottles.
And it was fun. And two people made it very special. But there we go. He does it very well. I have a question for you right off the bat. Could you just explain to me a little bit the difference between progression training and functional training? Like, what would you say?
So we got us a problem there because I have that on my list, but it is not checked off my list.
Because
I found out.
Done it. Now you have to explain to us what you were doing last night that you were not.
Oh boy. So last night I went to hang out with a guy that I hope to make a client, but a friend of mine here in Saudi Arabia and his friends, and we smoked hookah all night. And it turns out, I did not know this, but it turns out one gets hungover after hookah also. So you get all of the fun of being hungover with none of the fun of the night before. I mean, it was fun, but so apparently that happens because it gets you dehydrated. So I was hungover all day today, but I only had a little bit. But we'd had very little, minimal to drink. So yeah,
you didn't have anything. You're in Saudi Arabia. You didn't have that.
I didn't have a single drop. I had water. In small eco-friendly bottles. Many small eco-friendly bottles.
Not enough water. Besides being hungover, give us a 5 seconds on Wes. What's Wes feeling like right now?
Wes is feeling so this year has been very frustrating. We have a lot of work, but it's all primarily low margin work. So it's a lot of volume, but not a lot of money coming in that we can spend on development, building the team, etc. In Saudi Arabia does a great job of keeping success in vision or in sight, but just out of reach. So I'm waiting on one client I've been waiting on them since February, and they said next week, but they've been saying next week or 2 weeks from now since February. And then next week I have a couple big meetings, so we'll see what comes of those. So it is keeping me humble. That's what it's doing.
Well, my international relations have been a little bit dormant as of late, and so I just need to pound the pavement in Vietnam and Mongolia. So no, I had 3 orders coming in. Haven't gotten the full confirmation, but they're low margin as well because they're coming from another company. So we'll see if just waiting for confirmation for the colors. This will be my first kitchen with the new color, the sandstone color, which is a natural wood color, which is really nice. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, our parents are thinking about putting it in their kitchen, which is interesting. We'll see if they go for it. So just working through that, but just adjusting to the season, like I said a couple days ago, just working through and working on marketing and things. Let's jump into. I'm gonna go my mistake first because I have something.
Can I actually ask you a question real quick before we do that? Something you and I haven't talked about. Believe it or not, you recently had a birthday. How are you? How did you celebrate? How did you have fun? And how are you feeling post birthday? Are you feeling older, wiser?
I feel older, less wise. Feel a little more brittle.
A little over the hill.
Yeah,
I was crested.
I feel less fun. This might just be because of this is a depressing segment. I was hanging out with my little cousins, and I was hanging out with them, and I was like, I feel less fun. I felt, you know how like when you were younger and you had certain adults and they'd be like, nah, I don't want to play, and I'm not gonna do the full thing. I kind of felt like that. I was just kind of like, I just don't want to do stuff, and I was like, my life's over. So that's I have officially lost my youth. I was sick over my birthday. and it was fun, and a few people made it very special, but
That's cool.
it was miserable for the most part because of sickness. So yes,
And since you got back, you've been kind of a little bit of a low place. So maybe you're not,
yes,
maybe life isn't over. Maybe you're just in a dip. And then you'll pull out of the dip soon and you'll be a fun Uncle, I forget what they call you, fun Uncle Jay, fun Uncle Jam again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're all hoping for. All it's like Inside Out, all those different people in my head. We're all hoping for that. But depression is really kicking in. Uh, he's
And I
really
recommend
stronger.
hookahs.
Yeah, right. Just to dehydrate a little bit. Yes, thank you for asking. I am now 33 years old, very old, and yes. So here's one, and it's not too crazy. This is one of my biggest clients. My first big client that was a high ticket, a lot of cabinets, more involved, and what I didn't do is I didn't follow through with a client schedule with them. So like each client I should have, I don't have this fully written down, and I think I actually talked about this before, and I really need to get this because at the end of the job I remember saying, do you mind doing, because we had such a good relationship, she wanted to invite me over for Thanksgiving, her and her husband are wonderful people, and I like we had this kind of relationship going through the whole project, and at the end we were talking about marketing and things like that, and I mentioned that I was hoping to do a video with her, and she's like, because people don't like to be on video, but then she goes, okay, for you, I'll do it, and I never did it. And so I think that the lesson is, I actually haven't even asked her for a referral because I don't want to just send her that. I want to call her and actually talk to her, reconnect with her. So I lifted the bar higher for her because we had such a good relationship and she is such a cool person. I talk about her because she was the main. Women usually make the decisions when it comes to kitchens and things. But because I raised the bar so high, I just haven't done it. And so that's annoying. But the lesson is follow through with the best clients and milk them for all they're worth as far as marketing and treating them right and asking for referrals and do things right with them because they are going to over index for helping the business. They're the ones that are going to be more motivated to give a good review, more motivated to do things extra, like be in a video or be in some sort of a testimonial. I should have done that. That's me.
So what's the plan for correcting that?
Yeah, just to write out I don't have a client like this right now that I can do it with, but it'll kind of in a way. I wonder if I could with this one, but it's just to be official and write out. I have it written down here. To write out the process
Sure.
of what it is. And then so it takes it away. So maybe even, I don't know if I can use a calendar or something, but to, after 2 months, do a check-in, after 1 month, do a referral, take pictures if it's like in a certain category of job, have a thing to just go out and make it more automatic so it's not a conscious decision. It's not a choice. It's not like a battle with myself of how I'm feeling and if I'm feeling motivated to go do it. It's just like a part of the process. So it's just making that flow, that list, that checklist, and then executing on it with these certain jobs, especially some of them contractors and things. Sometimes it's just do the job and that's it, and that's fine. I don't know. There's no problem with. But on these extra ones, I really need to try to get as much as I can out of them as I should. Like it's not in a negative, not taking from them, but building on what we created and capitalizing on that moment that we had. So that's all.
For sure. Cool.
How about you? What's going on? Oh, go ahead, sir.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, are you going to go back to her and try to
I am
to get everything? Oh, good.
I'm not gonna do a video with her. But I would like to. I don't know where she's at in life and whatever it's been. It's been at least a year. I can't remember if it's been 2 years. I hope it's not 2 years. If it's 2 years, that's insane.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It might be. What? I have to look that up right now. I'm sorry. I gotta just look that up. That would be amazing. Because I have an email from her to remind me.
Mom, let's say right now. Do, 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 do.
It was 2 years ago.
I'm going to get it demonetized. We can't do that.
Jeffrey's gonna take all of our sponsor.
Yep.
It's been 2 years. Yeah, that's absolutely bonkers. It was in
Yeah.
November of 2022. Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. Having a crisis. While I'm having a crisis, could you please tell about something that you'd like to?
Sure. My issue, the fault over on the this side of the vault.
Yes, fill that vault.
So a couple days ago, I had a really productive day. Kind of knocked out a whole lot of items on the list. Worked through throughout the day into the evening. Got everything done, and then I got into it was pretty late. I think you and I might have recorded an episode that night, and that's why I was late. I think I finished things late. And then after that, I just kind of sat on my phone enjoying myself, like watching videos on TikTok or whatever until pretty late, like 3 a.m., something like that. It was late, yeah. And that kind of knocked out the whole next morning, of course. And so I was thinking about that. Like that's a problem that a lot of people deal with, and I do it periodically. I used to do it more. These days, it tends to be better. My ring tells me that I'm pretty good at going to sleep right at about midnight, on average. But I was thinking about why that happens, and I think I think there are a couple points there. One is that if your productivity isn't in balance, is lumpy, kind of like that. Like you're really unproductive one day, really productive the next day. It makes it hard to find time for yourself to settle in, like where are the rewards for that behavior, perhaps something like this. So when I had that productivity and I got to like 11 a.m. or 10 p.m. or 10 or 11 p.m., whatever it was, and I had gotten so much done, I was like, yes, I'm amazing. I'm wonderful. I did such a good job today, and now I have earned some rest. But like, there's no time for the rest that I'd earned. And the moment I go to sleep, then I wake up, and the next day, it's the clock has reset. So you're back into the productivity for the next day. You can't kind of post date the fun that you earned that night to the next morning. It's like, I'm going to start off with my 3 hours this morning of fun and games. And so I think that's one part of it, is trying to even things out, make it less lumpy. Like that happens, of course, but if you're just regularly productive and you have that time for yourself every day in the evening or throughout the day or in the morning, whatever it is, then you don't feel like that, the kind of, not panic, but the urge to feel like I got to get this time in now. I'm like, I got to get my TikTok and YouTube and chatting time in now. Otherwise I'm not going to get it. So that's one thing that I was thinking about, one driver for it. Another is that this is what I was thinking about with you and I. So our dad, of course, has until recently has had his business the entirety of the time we've been alive. And he was kind of always on. Like when he came back from a long day of work for dinner, then after dinner, he'd go back to work, and he was often preoccupied with work during dinner. And it's a lot of good reasons for that. But it's difficult. We didn't really have a good role model, and this is not a complaint. This is just purely an observation for the what is a more normal lifestyle. Like you have a 9 to 5 job, for example. I was staying with my friend in Armenia. She finishes work and then she comes home, and unless the hotline rings, she has to answer a call, or an ambassador calls, and because she works at the embassy. Other than that, it's like the evening is her own. She's done work. And so she's going to watch Netflix or go out with friends or something like this. And she enjoys her evening and wakes up and goes to work the next day. So having that 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever it is structure means that your time is built into that. But with what we do, we don't have that, because there's always something to do. We can always be doing work. And so it's very
You can always not be
carried away. And we can always not be doing work, right? Yeah. So I think something about having that regulated, or the structured, or the regular time, making sure that you have time for yourself, something like that. It perhaps lessens that urge, so that when you finish work, or it gets to 11:30 or 12 or whenever you want to go to sleep, your brain isn't like, no, I don't want today to be over, because if it's over, then I have to start tomorrow. So something like that. I'm interested to hear your thoughts as well on those points.
Yeah, we're very different when it comes to that. are you saying that ending work earlier to give yourself more time for yourself, or punctuating the day with time for yourself? Are those the solutions, or did I miss it?
Partly, whatever it is that you're getting enjoyment from, or you get or feel rewarded by it, perhaps something like that. So if you just, it could even be work. Like if you just really love work and love seeing the dollars hit the account or whatever it is, and that's your driver in life. That's what relaxes you. Then making sure you have that. Or if it is you really like playing World of Warships for as I enjoy doing, or Call of Duty, or chatting with people, whatever, making sure you have time to do that throughout the day rather than, yeah. So you have that in your day so your brain knows, I think this is my theory. So your brain knows when it gets to the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'll have plenty of enjoyment tomorrow. Like tomorrow will not be a difficult day to get through. I will have lots of fun things to do tomorrow, so I'm going to get to sleep. Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah. Maybe doing things like having a hard rule about phone usage after a certain time, to be able to push those things out just by necessity, just by to try to, in case it was a bad day, to not let it go even further. But then you're still left with that feeling. I in a perfect world, I was just thinking as you were saying this, because I in my better days, I have a lot of enjoyment from work, and not even just from work, more just being productive, I think. And so whether or not it's like doing the dishes, I have a bunch of dishes at the house I need to do, and I'm thinking about that. I'm half excited, half like not, because I don't want to, I hate starting, but once I get going, I'm going to be just enjoying the micro doses of dopamine. Those even basic things like that. I lost my train of thought. And then the other thing would be socializing. Sorry, Sasha. The other thing would be, in a perfect world, it would be productive as far as work, productive as far as personal life, and then it would be socializing. I think that would be, and I think that would be my magic elixir, because I don't really, if things are going well with work and I'm flowing, I don't really need other things besides things like socializing, and just to help me recharge and make sure I stay grounded in the world. Sometimes I get a little bit crazy, and so just stay grounded, I use other people, because other people, I can think through their mind, I can look at life through their perspective a little bit, and that helps. And so I think that would be my personal way, but I do think there's a big variety. You need small wins throughout the day. You need distractions and things like that. It's usually kind of one or the other. Either I'm distracting myself most of the day, or I am locked in and I don't feel the need for those things. I don't have a desire for them. So it's much more extreme. You're much more balanced. So every person has to answer that for themselves, I think.
Yeah. I think I guess it's just more about, it seems to me to be more about like, are you looking forward to waking up the next morning? And if you're looking forward to waking up the next morning, kind of like when you're kids, I remember Dad saying about whether we're going on vacation or whatever, soon you go to sleep, soon you wake up. And so if that's like, if you're really excited about tomorrow, then there's no need to stay up until 2 a.m. Like why would you? All you're doing is putting off tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, making sure that whatever it is, you really get out of life and really enjoy it, trying to whatever degree you can, and of course you can't always.
We can. Okay. Yes.
Trying to make sure that's part of tomorrow, so you have something to look forward to, something like that.
Good one. I like that. Yeah, those moments when things are really going well, and you don't, and I don't. Dread is too strong of a word, but when I'm looking forward to the next day, let's say, that's a really nice feeling. It doesn't happen a ton, actually, but that was something to definitely just strive for.
For sure.
Yep. That's a pretty universal struggle.
Yeah, I think so.
You address it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll see. Put in some work. But yep.
That's right. Well, today we have a sponsor for today's podcast.
Oh, good.
Our very real sponsor today is printers. We work sometimes, and our juice is very expensive. Use promo code FAULTFOLD at your favorite printer retailer to increase your chances of getting one that works by 5%.
Wow.
I have a bone to pick with the printers. I bought one. I bought juice for them. I bought the printer, and this thing, what frustrates me is I have no idea how they work. And I don't feel, you know how like with like a car or with the computer, you're like, if I just Google the right thing or if I just tweak the right thing, I will be able to figure this out. I feel so helpless when it comes to printers. They suck. They absolutely suck. I can't even tell you, I've printed 5 things off and I've spent, well, I used Dell credits, but I spent $300 on between juice and the printer. And I've gotten six copies. I just...
So in the future,
Anyway,
if we're in our little pre-recording chat and I see you're feeling a little down, not a low energy, all of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get ready on that record button and be like, Jam, how are you feeling about printers today? And record.
well, let me tell you, that thing is the worst piece of equipment that has ever been invented. Why don't they work? I just don't understand. They do a very simple function. You put the juice in, you put the paper, and hit the button. Why don't they work? It can never communicate right. There's always like, gotta like play this whole game with them. It's gotta be like, okay, let me close the program or reopen it. Let me get rid of the queue. And then, oh my goodness, it's like this whole dance. It's just to get it to spit out something you already have on the computer. It's already there. You just need it in paper. Oh boy.
We got to go back to the printing press. That's what
I was just thinking.
Those things.
I want to get the rollers.
Put the letter yourself. You know what you're gonna get. You just turn whatever. Is there a crank? I think you turn a crank or something.
Yeah, I don't know because the paper has to fold up. But I mean, it's got to be better than what I have going on. And I think that would really add a nice level of sincerity to my letters and my invoices.
There you go. Absolutely.
I do that.
Yeah. Heidi Gutenberg over there. Day Gutenberg.
Exactly. That's what I need. Anyway, thank you all for listening. That's it for today. We'll see you soon for the next episode of Fall Fault. Thank you very much, Jared.
See y'all. Thank you, too.
See ya. Bye.